When was the building put up?
It was finished just earlier this year. It went up really quick because it's a metallic structure.
Yes, yeah.
With prefab concrete, so it can be recycled.
Oh, what a shame. It is a shame. So the horizon matters. I mean, that building, I think, is a real issue. It's a real issue. I mean, now from another perspective, one could almost also say that it's a recognition that contemporary culture matters. And that is a really important sign, something we as artists have to defend. Works like this represent what can be done and must be looked after and cared for thoughtfully, carefully, with sensitivity.
The university is thinking about covering the building just with stone or something. In your opinion, would that solve the issue?
Yeah, if one takes seriously what the proposition of this work is, it matters what's on the horizon, then that's just a cosmetic halfway solution, not a real solution. It doesn't fully respect what is intended by this work, especially given what I think I understand, that the cost of moving the building isn't enormous. It takes effort, it takes commitment, but it's good. It would be amazing if the university were to make that commitment to one of its important cultural artifacts. Well, there is a certain sense of wonder, isn't there? As you look at it, thinking, to wonder, first of all, what is it? I love art that asks the question, what is it? It doesn't give you an answer. I can make propositions, we can make propositions. That sense of it has no purpose. It is nothing but a collection of blocks of concrete round a circular wall. Why does it mean anything? What is our relation to it as a meaningful object? We want to ask the questions. What is it? Why is it? Why is it here? Why did they build it? What effort and energy went into this? It seems to have no purpose. What a wonderful thing in a world where all objects are defined by their use. Here's a thing that, what is this thing? I love that you can't answer that question properly. You can speculate on it. And the speculation's always poetic. It always has to do with somehow our place in the universe. Is it really to do with the sun? Maybe it's nothing to do with the sun. What do I know? I like that. Looking at land art, generally speaking, that you have to make a long journey somewhere to go, like a kind of pilgrimage, like you're going to a special temple or special church or a special site, and then you go and experience this thing that perhaps leaves you confused. Right. I think there's something wonderful about that as an idea, of course. Here, it's much more available, but that doesn't make it any less rich. Well, the first time I was here was good while ago. Must be more than 30 years ago, in 1984. So just a few years after it was built. And I think it's got better, in a way. I came with Helen Escobedo, and she was very, very proud of it as something that emerged as a collaborative. This is the other thing which we don't often see, as a collaborative project between 6 artists. How did they agree on it, in a way? That's the kind of wonderful thing, isn't it? Something quite so strict and geometric and formal as this. I mean, its formality is pretty remarkable. It gives nothing. And that's why we love it. I think that's why I love it, is that you're then just left with the questions. From a contemporary perspective, it seems to say that this bit of nature has something that we have to hold on to and preserve and watch, and that it's ancient, that we value it. What a place of tranquility, isn't it? Yeah. We want the university to recognize that, to honor it, and to bring it into, it's as significant a work of land art as any out there. I think it's important to recognize that. Being Indian, of course, I can't help but associate this with what is called a yogini. So she's a kind of goddess temple. also divided into 64, also in a circle, at a very similar scale. I can't help but associate it. It's just outside the city of Gwalior in the center of India, and it's called the 64 Yogini Temple. But also divided, aligned with the. So at that level, it's obviously related. It's a proper place of contemplation, and that's something. Anyway, I think it's that art occupies more space than the space of the object itself. That's always true. I don't think it's just in this case. It's always true. And so when something, if you like, fills that space, it just reduces the art. What it does is take away some of the poetic kind of unnameable qualities of a work. That's why we are so careful about how we install a work in a museum. Why does it matter that it's so thoughtful in its presentation? It's simply to bring that quality that's latent in the work, to bring it poetically to life. Otherwise, I mean, this is the struggle we always, us artists are always, the thing we're always struggling with, isn't it? Those quiet things that speak when they have space. Otherwise they don't speak. Otherwise it's just a circle with a few blocks of concrete and it's a nothing thing. Who cares? So that's why that's important. That's why this is an important battle. It's a battle for a poetic spirit of a work. Not a battle about whether or not the object is there. It's the poetic spirit of the work. So I think it's absolutely vital. We lose that in our culture, we lose everything. Sorry for being so over the top with this, but it's important, I think. Yeah. I think it's to do with arguing, it's a poetic argument. It's about arguing for the soul of a thing.
Yeah.
That's what we're arguing for.
Yeah, that's
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 For.
yeah, that's